gonna break them down. New York. We gonna shake them down. New York. We are the New York Knicks. We are the New York Knicks.
What up? What up? What's going on? What's going on, boys and girls? Good evening, and welcome to the Church Guys Sports Show podcast for April 16th, 2024. We're here, you're there, and it's a great opportunity for us to share. We're back every Tuesday night. Join us here, right here on this platform, Church Guys Sports Show on Facebook and on YouTube. Join us every Tuesday night as we prepare to delve into the world of sports from the perspective of the fact that church guys like sports too. And so we're here tonight. You're there. Do us a favor. We need you to do right on the bottom of the screen. We need you to like, share, tag, comment, get somebody in here who you know is a sports fanatic like we are, so that we can have a great discussion tonight. Let's have a great discussion tonight on all the different things that are going on. We're not going to be on all night. This is our every Tuesday at 8 p.m. show. This is our every Tuesday at 8 p.m. show. So we invite you to join us each and every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. So let's jump right into it. The NBA playoffs begin tonight. The NBA playoffs begin tonight. They begin with the beginning of the play-in games, or the knockout round of the NBA playoffs, where the Pelicans and the Lakers are underway. And the Pelicans lead the Lakers as they get ready to close the first quarter, 31-26. And later on tonight is the 9-10 game. That's the 7-8 game, the Lakers-Pelicans. The 9-10 game is Warriors-Kings tonight at 10 p.m. Also, those games, you can watch them on TNT. And we're excited about what's going on. The biggest excitement for those of us, as you know, the hosts of this show, we are rabid New York Knicks fans. And as New York Knicks fans, I just want to go out there and I just want to just say it. The New York Knicks are the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. I'm going to say that again. The New York Knicks are the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs. Let's go back. Because we keep receipts. Let's go back. You had one person, Tim Legler, who said that he thought the Knicks were a play-in team. You had Matt Barnes, who didn't believe that Jalen Brunson was a needle mover. Well, surprise, Jalen Brunson is an MVP candidate. He's an MVP candidate. The Knicks lose Julius Randle to a busted shoulder, lose OG Anunoby to a busted elbow for weeks, lose Mitchell Robinson for most of the season. Isaiah Hartenstein dealing with Achilles issues. The Knicks don't miss a beat. Jalen Brunson has led this team to a 50-win season, the first in 12 years. And along with that, the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference, where they will take on the winner of the play-in game that will take place tomorrow night between the Philadelphia 76ers and the Miami Heat. Got to talk about that for a moment, Eastern Conference-wise. We'll check in with the Western Conference again in just a moment. But in the Eastern Conference, the play-in is as such. The Philadelphia 76ers will take on the Miami Heat in the play-in on tomorrow night. And then the Chicago Bulls and the Atlanta Hawks will play each other as well in the play-in on tomorrow night for the Eastern Conference games. The Knicks will play their first game from Madison Square Garden on Saturday. They will play their first game on Saturday. Obviously, that is to be determined based upon what happens with the play-in. But I definitely got to deal with it as Bishop J. Mack joins us. Definitely got to deal with the fact. What's up, Bishop? We definitely got to deal with the fact real quick of everybody is having these conversations, and I've seen it all over X, all over Facebook. People talking about in the last year of the season, the Knicks should have tanked and get out and not try to win the 2 seed. And I don't understand that logic. You play who's in front of you. You play the team that's in front of you. It doesn't matter. Yes, the 76ers are going to be a tough matchup. Miami would be a tough matchup. Doesn't matter who wins. Indiana would have been a tough matchup if the Knicks fall to 3. The important thing was securing home court. Bishop J?
Good evening, everyone. I'm a little under the weather, my brother. Flu B is taking over our house, brother.
Oh, Jesus, we got.
But I wanted to get on for a little bit. This is clearly people who haven't watched this Knicks team. It didn't matter. I mean, you just look at the last 10 games. They ended the season on a 5-game winning streak. Okay.
Absolutely.
You look at Jalen Brunson's numbers. And there's a certain individual that loves to talk about Jalen Brunson being a scorer, but I guess he hasn't looked over in the next column at his assists per game. He clearly gets everyone involved. Sunday, you saw it when they double teamed him. He knew how to get the ball to the out to the open man. And listen, you got to play who's in front of you. And I think the Knicks are going to surprise a lot of people. People are thinking about the Miami team from last year. Well, the Miami team from last year is not the team that the Knicks are going to be playing now. That doesn't take away from the Miami Heat and their coaching philosophy, because we know Spoelstra is going to have them boys up and ready. But the team itself, they don't even have their starting backcourt from last year. Kyle Lowry now plays for the Sixers, coming off the bench. So there are a lot of factors that are there. And besides that, the Knicks have just been playing lights out. If you've been watching the Knicks, anybody been watching them, right now it doesn't matter who they play in the first round. And listen, it's like you said, you got to play who you play. And that just goes to show. I heard you as I was getting on. I heard you mention the score from the Pelicans and Lakers. And word is that the Lakers are going to tank tonight. Word is that the Lakers are going to tank tonight so that they can avoid Denver in the first round, so they can play OKC in the first round. They're going to go back home, play that game, and they just guarantee that they're going to go home and win that. But you can't play with the. We all know this. Any basketball aficionados, you don't play with the basketball gods.
You
And
don't. You don't, because Golden State has proven they can beat LA when they need to. So if Golden State beats Sacramento later on tonight, is that the matchup you want? One game against you. This is not a best of 7 series. It's one game against Steph, Clay, and Draymond. Really, that's what you want to do?
Ask the Kings last year, Game 7 on the road, came into Sac and dropped 50 on those boys. Ask them. Ask the Kings, do they want to be in a one-game playoff? Because that's essentially what it was when they played that Game 7. So no, you can't play with the basketball gods. Listen, I like the Knicks' chances. As a matter of fact, I dare to say if we beat whoever we beat in the first round, it's going to catapult the Knicks in that second round. I believe it's going to be a catapult situation.
Willie Green, my brother, good to see you as always. But do we want to play? We don't care. The Knicks handle Philly all season long with Embiid and Maxey, without Embiid and Maxey, with just Maxey, with Lowry starting, with Lowry coming off the bench. The Knicks are not afraid of the Philadelphia 76ers. And that first matchup, when they went into Philly, when we were languishing around 5th and 6th, and Philly was playing really for first, and we went in there, and Philly was on. I think Philly at that point was on like a 6 or 7 game win streak. Like they was like smoking the league at that point. They were right up on the Celtics, and we went in there and beat them by 38 points with everybody healthy.
I don't think
our entire team was healthy as well. But I mean, there's no fear in this Knicks team, and that's one of the things I love about them.
You're right, and that's what I was going to jump in, not to jump over the top of you.
No, you're good.
That's what I was going to say. I don't think people outside of New York understand the culture of this Knicks team. They just don't care. Okay, we got Randall. We don't care. We don't have Randall. We don't care. We got OG. We don't care. OG's on the bench. We don't care. Mitchell Robinson is out. We don't care. Mitchell Robinson comes back. We don't care. Listen, nobody's disrespecting Miami or Philly. Nobody's disrespecting
Not at all.
Them.
Not at all.
But at the same time, don't disrespect New York either.
Now that's the key right there.
That's the point. Because I'm not disrespecting Philly. I'm not disrespecting Joel Embiid, Maxey. What's the other guy's name? I might disrespect him.
Kelly Oubre.
No.
Kelly Oubre he's a joke.
Not Oubre, the other guy. That's from Long Island. He's from out here. And he's getting overpaid. He's the starting lineup.
Tobias Harris.
That's him. Yes.
Tobias Harris. Yeah.
Now him. I'll disrespect.
Oh, he's a burger. Like Tobias Harris is. He's an NBA player, so I'm not going to say he's a waste.
Right.
But But dude, for what you're being paid,
For
you
what
are
he's being
not
paid.
delivering on that contract at all.
Exactly.
You're not delivering on that contract.
Yeah. So I'm not disrespecting Miami or Philly, but I'm just
No,
confident. I'm just confident in our team. I mean, DiVincenzo has come into his own. DiVincenzo is coming to his own. We got Deuce who's coming to his own. I'm just waiting for Bogdanovich. I think he's going to round into form.
he's rounding into form now.
Yes.
You can see Bogey is
Yes.
now getting comfortable coming off the bench. You can see because initially when you got that starters mentality, you think you used to having that time to warm up. You can kind of let the game come to you. But now he understands when I come in here, I got to come and bring it immediately. I got to bring the energy. I got to come in looking for my shot immediately. And you're seeing the difference now. No, he's not going to get 20 points a game like he averaged in Detroit as a starter. But
He's
if he
not
can give
supposed
us
to.
13, right? If you're
Right.
going to give us, but if you can give us 13 to 15 off the bench, that's
Yes.
fantastic.
That's fantastic for play and for playoff basketball. That's huge.
That's huge. Yes.
You need those 13 and 15-point guys to step up in the playoffs. So listen, I'm excited. I listen. Even if the Knicks drop one of the first two, I'm confident that New York could go into Miami or into Philly
Or
and
into
get one
Philadelphia.
back. I'm
Absolutely.
not. Listen, does not scare me at all. At all.
Absolutely. And I'll say, and I'll even go a bit further, just analytically with Philly and why I'm definitely not afraid of them. Miami, I agree with you. They're not the same team that they were. Even
No.
though they went and made that deal for their new point guard, and that's great, but it's not the same team. The Heat culture is Heat culture. But with Philly, I'm really not afraid of Philly because when I look at it, the New York Knicks lost their all-star forward, and their other star elevated his game and by turn elevated his team.
And still 150. And still
Embiid
150.
went down and Maxey is great, but he couldn't elevate that team. He couldn't keep them in the second and third spot. He couldn't keep them in the top four. That's telling. And these are the things that people don't really look at. And that's why I look at some people and I go, okay, you're a casual because you don't really understand. There are more nuances to this than just that, oh, well, Embiid is back. Yeah, that's great. But somebody rolling the back of Embiid's legs, what's going to happen to Philly again?
He's not healthy right now. He's bad.
Yeah, he's playing 75%. His finesse game is gone. He's trying to play a more power game, which plays into the Knicks' strength. Honestly,
he
needs that finesse to be. Yeah,
we got two bigs to roll at him.
We have 12 fouls to throw at him.
Right, and OG can play him in spurts if he needs to. OG can get out there and rotate. So I'm not afraid of Philly. I'm not afraid of Miami. I'm just not. Listen, Jimmy Butler didn't do anything against us last year. It was that starting backcourt.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
That was Strus and
Gabe Vincent.
And Gabe Vincent. They killed us. They killed us.
They don't have either one.
Exactly. They're dogs. The culture is different. McBride, we don't care. McBride has been fantastic.
We don't care.
What's up, Keisha? What's going on? We're gonna talk about
Keisha,
WNBA draft.
Yeah, what a great listen. I know
Chicago Sky jumped into the top
What a
five.
great. Let me say this because the WNBA has been taking hits over the last couple of years.
They did great last night.
But what a great night for the WNBA.
Yes.
I salute them.
Yes.
What a great night. What a great night for the WNBA. We've never been this interested in the draft for the WNBA.
Ever.
We've never been. I saw Keisha talking about she going to the game. Listen, I might have to buy. I know I'm going to buy some tickets.
The New York Liberty opened the season against Caitlin Clark's team.
Yes.
In Brooklyn.
And that's going to be
that game's going to be sold out.
That game's going to be sold out. I wouldn't be surprised if that game is sold out. Because that is like I said, WNBA, hats off to them. I'm very excited for the WNBA. I think you're going to begin to see so many people have an interest in it now. You got these two that had the right. It was like Magic and Bird, and now they're in the NBA, WNBA, bringing that over. It's going to be a great season.
And that Chicago Sky front line, Camila Cardoza said it when they asked her after, because Chicago drafted Angel Reese while they were doing the interview with Camila Cardoso, and they're like, y'all just drafted Angel Reese as well. She was like, oh, nobody's getting any rebounds.
She said nobody's getting any rebounds. And I'm going to tell you, and I was telling Keisha Carter earlier today, they may not start them, but down the stretch, if they put them together, get stops, get rebounds, who's going to stop that front line? It's going to be a one and done. You're going to have to make your shots because it's going to be one and done when you go down on the offensive end. If you don't make it, they're getting the rebound and they're kicking it out.
And I saw some video this week of Angel Reese. It was in New York. She was at a Knick game last week, but she was actually in New York because she's now working with Chris Brickley on her 3-point shot. So she gets that, she becomes unstoppable.
Listen, like I said, hats off to the WNBA. Great night for them last year. Great night for women's sports. I'm very, very excited for them. Very excited for them. Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, Pastor Jay, yes, those Villanova boys, it's something. The Knicks are being powered by the power of friendship, the power of culture, and just a winning mindset. We have winning players. These guys are winners across the board. Our current starting five, without Julius, Jalen Brunson, national champion twice. Josh Hart, national champion. Dante DiVincenzo, national champion in college, as well as an NBA title with Milwaukee. You've got guys who are playing. You got guys on this team now who OG Anunoby.
I was gonna say, wasn't OG on that
OG Anunoby was on the Toronto championship team. There's a championship pedigree. Guys who know how to win this time of year. We haven't had that in a long time.
And I think what the other thing is, Bishop, I think you don't hear a lot of vibrato coming from the Knicks. It's a calmness. Mm-hmm. It's like such a calm with OG, Brunson. It's such a calmness over.
It's all business. It's all business.
I think that's what people they're mixing up because they don't hear this braggadocious. Mm-hmm. You don't hear this. You don't hear this. This vibrato coming from New York, where in times past. I just think New York is going to surprise everybody in that first round. I think it is. I think it's going to be a very shock.
I definitely agree. And you're right, Keisha. Philly is not consistent. Jay said Knicks are already. That's true. The Knicks have been playing playoff basketball. Huge stat that they brought up last couple of games of the season. The New York Knicks, everybody talks about Tibbs, and I kill him on the minutes thing too. But one thing Tibbs has always preached anywhere he's been is it's not where you start, it's how you're playing at the end of the year. The 4 years that Tibbs has been the coach, now 80 games. The last 20 games, if you take the last 20 games of every season that Tibbs has been the coach, the Knicks are 54-26.
Absolutely.
So they are built to win this time of the year. When everybody's legs are gone, when everybody's tired, those teams are now built to win this time of the year.
And other teams aren't used to doing that. Remember, he comes from the Raleigh tree. He's off of the Raleigh tree. So Raleigh, if you follow these 90s Knicks, they were the best conditioned team in the league. They were the best. That's why he was shortening the rotation to 6. That's why Raleigh was shortening to 6 or 7 players, because they were the best conditioned team. And I believe that the Knicks are the best conditioned team. And
absolutely.
Look, we don't know what's going to happen with Milwaukee. Now that Giannis is hurt, he's not playing. It's gonna be a tough road, and I think the Eastern Conference is wide open. I think it's wide open.
I think both conferences are wide open, quite honestly. Denver's no lock to repeat. OKC is good. I don't agree with Shannon Sharp as far as calling him the weakest number 1 seed.
Yeah, I didn't agree with that. That was
Shannon's takes this week have just been like, dude, did Skip invade your body? Because you sound like him right now. Like
his inexperience is showing. His inexperience is showing.
I'm like, bro, do you watch anybody beside LeBron? Because
no, I don't think
these takes you're making, OKC is really, really good.
SGA is a problem, man.
SGA is my MVP as far as I'm concerned.
Well, that's what I was just about to say. He's my number one. I know everybody's saying Tatum, but nah, SGA is the MVP, brother.
It's SGA, and if not SGA, it's Jalen Brunson. But that's another conversation.
Yeah.
But it's either SGA or Brunson for MVP because they elevated their teams this year, as well as they put up these huge numbers of their own individually. I had to know this was coming. What's
Well,
going on, Overseer Jay?
well, I'm glad he's on here because I wanna address
Uh-oh.
his take the
His
other day.
live the other day.
Yeah. Because he kind of skewed the truth, but I wasn't gonna get on there. He kind of skewed it when he said that Boston didn't play their starters. Boston played their starters for 3 quarters,
They did.
and so did the Knicks.
Right.
And
So
in
for
those
three
and in
quarters,
those
the
because
Knicks beat the brakes off of them.
this is the part he's leaving out. In those 3 quarters, it was a blowout,
The Knicks were up. The Knicks went into the fourth up by 30.
up by 30, and they played. They played. There was no oh
It was funny to me because like I was watching the that day, the day of the game. I was watching the injury reports, and the day started. Porzingis was on the injury report. Al Horford was on the injury report. Um, Tatum was on the injury report, and I said, "Oh, he's gonna rest him." And this is what I'm thinking. I'm like, okay, I'm not mad at it because we needed to win anyway. So I'm like, all right, cool. We know we're not resting anybody, but if he's gonna rest his guys, that's fine.
right. Give us the game. We'll take it any way we can get it.
All through the day, one by one, they started coming off their injury report. Every time I updated it, another Celtic was no longer questionable, but they were playing. And I'm like, oh, it's the Knicks. He's got to play his starting five. And you know what? This is where Missoula messed up. He would have been better off just going ahead and sitting them because all he did was let the Knicks put doubt in his team's mind. Because that one, if it turns out to be that Eastern Conference Finals going in there, the Knicks know that they can go into the Boston, the TD Garden, whatever you want to call it, and beat the brakes off the Celtics starters if necessary.
Yeah, it was just funny to hear that take and then the take was the Knicks lost 4 out of 5 to the Celtics. So it was all right if they lost the fifth one because they lost 4 out of 5. But I do recall, since we just, again, it is what it is. They wanted, the Knicks didn't have their full team other than opening night, so listen, I'm just ready to play. That's all I'm saying. I'm
That's
ready to
it.
play.
Let's just throw it.
I ain't here to defend nobody. I ain't here to defend the
No.
Knicks.
And
I'm
this is
not
why
here to
I've
make
been quiet
excuses.
on
I've
Facebook
been
for the
right. I've
last
been
few weeks. I'm
quiet
just
too.
quiet.
I haven't been putting up no posts. We've all been kind of just like, all right, let's see. Let's just get to the end of the season. That's what it was basically. Let's get to the end of the season. That's where
Yep.
we were.
And yes, Keisha, they did save Reese from going to Minnesota, but I'm not gonna lie to you, Keisha. I was secretly hoping that she fell to 11. I knew it was highly unlikely, but I was secretly hoping because could you imagine Angel Reese in New York? Oh,
Oh, let me tell you something. It would have been crazy. It would have been crazy to have Angel Reese in New York. Now you
Angel
got
Reese with Sabrina Ionescu,
yeah.
and you've got what's the other young lady's name on that team that's really good? I can't think of her name right now. And I just read an article about her today. But that would have given New York a big 3. And they would have immediately been right on par with the Vegas Aces. We would have probably saw a rematch of the finals. But now the Chicago Sky go because Chicago, I believe they moved them to the Western Conference in the WNBA. So you might be looking at they're going to be the biggest challengers now to the
To
Las Vegas
Vegas.
Aces.
Yeah, if they can
Yeah,
stay healthy, that's gonna be some Western Conference final, man. To see them two going at it, that's gonna be something.
absolutely. And yes, Keisha, I know you're not a big fan of Angel Reese,
Yeah,
but
we
but
know, we know.
there's no denying the girl can ball.
Listen, the girl can ball. The
And that
girl
is
can
the bottom
ball.
line. That is
Listen,
absolutely the bottom line.
and she
As we
stays in her
welcome
lane.
Bishop
She doesn't
L.
try to do any. She doesn't try to do anything
Right.
that she's not able to do. That's what I like about her. She doesn't try to do anything outside of her game. She knows her game is 3 to 5 feet in,
Right.
grab the
She's
rebounds.
back to the basket and
Yes.
rebounding.
Yeah, she doesn't try to
And
do anything else.
that's nice to see. Bishop L. Butler joins us. Don't forget, get your tickets for his banquet that's coming up. The subscription is now $170. So if you haven't gotten your tickets, please do so. He reminded us today. We done lost him just that quick. I'm trying to plug you and you done went off screen. But he'll be back in just a moment. Yes, Keisha, the Knicks are absolutely confident. And this culture is amazing. My bro, Andre Watson, Is there a need to complete the gauntlet and go after Bridges? I don't think Brooklyn. Brooklyn
not
wants
parting
to
with
build. They want to build around him. They want to build around him. But it was funny because Brooklyn Net Twitter was in an uproar after that game against the Knicks. They were mad at Mikal Bridges because he was talking to his friends, to the point where even Josh Hart had to tweet out, like, "What? We can't be friends with somebody? Like, what's the problem?" Like, and I appreciate that. That's old school rivalry. I'm not even mad at it. But yeah, it, it the thing with Bridges is, as good as he is, where would he fit on this Knicks team?
I just don't think he's needed.
No, exactly. Where would he fit on this Knicks team? On this Knicks team, Mikal Bridges kind of just doesn't fit anymore.
Yeah,
Especially,
what are we going to run, a 4-guard offense? I mean,
you can't do that. This isn't college. You know, you have legit bigs in this league that you got to have people to guard. So, you know, Mikal Bridges,
good player.
I like him.
I
Really
like
good
him.
player.
Yeah,
but
he doesn't fit in New York. Not now. Nah.
Oh, the Bucks are done. The Bucks are absolutely done.
But they're going to stay with Doc Rivers. They're going to give him a full year.
They have to, because of the way they did things. They have to chalk this up to something else. And word on the street is he may actually miss the first couple of games of their first round series against Indiana.
No, that's what they said. He's not starting. He's missing. Woj already reported it. That's what I'm saying. He's not going to be there for the start of that series.
That's huge. So you might even have Indiana coming out of that series. So the 2-3 matchup might be Knicks Pacers anyway. Well, the second round matchup, it would be 2-3.
And again, I'm not afraid of anybody. I'm just
nobody.
Not.
Listen, as much size as the Pacers had, the Pacers only beat us once this year. We beat them 3 out of 4. So I mean, again, it's one of those things where there's really not anybody for the Knicks to be afraid of. I don't think there was any team in the league that we got swept by in the season series. There's not anybody that we didn't put an L on, at least one. Yeah, as Bishop L joins us, so let me go back to my shameless plug. Let us not forget the celebration. His 50th birthday is coming up. Get your ticket. Subscription is now $170. So y'all need to get on these tickets quickly. I need to get on mine. I'm gonna send my ticket money on Friday. I gotta wait till I get paid. These kids broke me during their spring break. I ain't got no money.
Yeah, I got the text today, but Bishop, you wasn't on. Influenza B has taken over my house.
Yeah, they all sick. They sick.
Yeah.
They all sick.
That's why you see me, I'm glazed.
He's sweating.
Let me tell y'all something, man. I don't advise anybody to do a banquet unless you really got the manpower to make it happen.
You doing too much work by yourself?
This is my second one. I did one for the 40 and 10. This is 50 and 20. I'm 10 years removed from the 60 and 30, and I don't think I'm going to do it. I think we all going to Atlantic City for my 60 and 30. Yeah, Vegas. Absolutely.
Oh, you let me know. I'm down for that. I love me Vegas.
Absolutely.
I love some Vegas.
But
you know me and first go out there. You know we love it.
Thanks for the support. I'm late because I was, banquet mode, and then
it's all good. You got to get ready for stuff. We've talked about the fact that we're not afraid to play anybody.
We are not afraid to play anybody.
Abundantly clear. We don't care about the 7-8 matchup.
And we said we're not disrespecting the Philadelphia Sixers or Miami. It's just that we have a quiet confidence about who we are as a team.
So I don't think Philadelphia is going to get past Miami in that play.
We're gonna find out tomorrow night.
What's the score? What's the score?
Yeah,
I was just
getting ready to go back to that. Lakers lead the Pelicans by 10 with 2:39 to go in the first half.
Joel Embiid is not healthy.
No, he's not.
And Miami's different when it comes to the playoffs. They're different. Eric Spoelstra, coach, is different when it comes to the playoffs. Eric Spoelstra is a technician. He's a technician and a tactician. And I don't think that Joel Embiid has been back long enough from that injury and that surgery to be able to withstand the way that Eric Spoelstra is going to strategize against him. Joel Embiid's not going to be able to adjust quick enough because that injury, he is still healing from that surgery.
Spoelstra just gonna have Bam hit him in the knee.
Yeah,
You know that's what they do in Miami. That's what Bam does.
Yeah.
They
He
injure
injured
players,
your star
yeah.
player. He injured
Yeah.
your star player. That's his job.
Now, as far as our Knicks, I'm not afraid of anybody. I don't think there's any team in the Eastern Conference that can beat us in a 7-game series. This team is just they got too much fight in them. They got the Knicks, and and these are our Knicks. They are not a juggernaut team.
No.
They're not a juggernaut team. They're not world beaters, but y'all know as basketball players, chemistry trumps talent a lot of times.
Yes, Keisha. Even Boston. We might beat
can.
Boston in 5.
We can beat them.
The reason we can beat Boston is because Boston hasn't seen this Knick team. Boston has not seen a Knick team that now.
Well, they got it briefly last week and got smacked
They
by
got it
31 points in the
briefly.
first 3 quarters.
Exactly. They got it briefly last week. But see, like the 4 games that we lost to Boston, those were games where we were responding to our handicaps, our injuries, RJ having the I'm scared of Boston headaches. But now you're facing a Knick team that's like, okay, if we got to do this without this person, if we got to do this without that person,
Isn't that what I said?
then let's do
Next
it.
man
right?
up. It's literally next man up now.
And Boston,
And they play like it.
Boston is a great team. They 60-something wins is nothing to scoff at, but
It's 0-0 right now.
it's 0-0
Right.
now, and you're talking about the 1 and the 2 seed. The 1 and the 2 seed is always filled with upsets in that Eastern Conference Finals. If it gets to that, it's always. If you check the history, it's always filled with upsets. This Knicks team is definitely the kind of team that can surprise a lot of people. I'm not sure what we look like in the finals. I do know that we are definitely going to the Eastern Conference Finals. It will definitely probably be a dogfight with whoever we're in that Eastern Conference Finals. And then I think that the world needs to really be mindful of the fact that Boston can lose at any given moment.
At any give and
They
they've
lost
proven
last
that.
year to Miami.
They've
Yeah,
proven
they
that.
can lose. They've proven that they can lose at any given moment and fold or crumble in the playoffs.
Yes, and I was gonna say that as good as Jason Tatum is and has been as a regular season ball player, he has folded in the playoffs every single year. And
Yes,
Jaylen
folded.
Brown is just non-existent. You don't think that that's playing in their heads right now? And they
Of
have not
course it is.
been able to figure out how to overcome that. And I see your comment, Keisha. The West is built different, but I went down and checked it out today. Oh, the top 10 teams in the West, the teams that are playing, including the play-in teams, every one of them has a 1-1 record against the Knicks this year, which means none of them swept the Knicks. The Knicks hung a loss on every one of those teams that could potentially come out of the West.
And
So,
9 times out of
yes,
10,
they're beatable.
whatever, and 9 times out of 10, whatever teams we did take those L's to, we didn't take those L's by large margins. First of all, the Knicks was not a team that got blown out this year that much.
No,
They were not a team that got blown out.
the Knicks were one of the teams where no lead was safe.
No lead was safe. That's 1. 2, 70% of our losses were ref assisted. 70% of our losses
Teams
were
resting their star players because the Knicks are coming in the next night.
But not only that, referee assisted.
Oh, we ain't gonna start that nonsense.
I don't
Get me started with
I
that.
don't want to be the one to use it as an excuse. But if you check the season, man, it's first of all, it's a wonder that we even.
Oh no,
got to
Keisha,
the
there were a
second
lot of
seed.
blowouts this year. I think there were more blowouts this year in the NBA than in years past. There were so many 140 to 105 games that I saw this year. It was bad.
Damn. You
This
had
To the
season-
point where they were
referee-
talking about bringing back the hand check. because the games were so high scoring. They've been talking about bringing back the hand check.
Oh,
That's how
yeah.
bad the scoring
I mean,
has been, and no defense
right.
has been played.
And
They
not
are
for
bringing it
nothing,
back.
Keisha's
They
the
they
Knicks were
they are
giving out a
bringing the
bunch of
hand
those
check back.
blowouts. A bunch of those blowouts were being given out by the Knicks. 38
Absolutely.
in Philly, 36 to the champs. They beat Denver by 36. Like
Yeah,
at home.
yeah.
Like
And it's hard to play in Denver with that thin air.
they
It's
went
hard
into
to play up
Denver
there.
and beat Denver by 30 plus.
You look at
Yeah.
those
Like,
'90s Knicks teams; they rarely won in Denver under Rowley
yep.
because of those that thin air in Denver. They rarely won. So for them to be able to go up there and win, that's huge. It's huge.
No, but and Denver but Denver is a team that's built kind of like the Knicks in terms of the way they play and the way they go about their business every night. The Denver is they just don't have the dogs that we have, and that's why I give us the advantage because if you can get up 25 on Denver, you can take Jokic and them out because again for Jokic this is business. So he gets down 25, his effort level is going to drop. The Knicks get down 20, Jalen Brunson's effort level goes through the roof. And you see a difference in the way he and that team plays when the Knicks are down. 2 times last week, the Knicks were down 20 in the first half and came back and won both of those games.
Came back and won both those games. And not only that, we haven't seen the league hasn't seen a defensive Knick team like this since '94. Since '94. This Knicks team plays hard-nosed defense. You better be glad that it ain't the '90s. Because with the defense that this Knick team plays, yo,
If they were able
if
to add physicality to it,
oh my God, it would be insane.
More physicality because the Knicks are every team, see every coach in the post game, they always say the Knicks are a very physical team.
They were a
If you can
very
say that
physical
in this
team.
era, can you
Yeah,
imagine if they were able to be as physical as you could be in the
yeah,
90s?
yeah. So I like our chances. I do believe that we're going to the Eastern Conference Final without a doubt. I mean, barring a complete collapse, I do believe that we're going to the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't even think the coach can mess it up for us at this point
Well,
because I
we've been saying
believe,
it in our group chat. I agree. The Knicks are a team
yeah,
that's winning in spite of their coach some
they're
nights.
winning in spite of their coach, and they are, yo, Jalen Brunson is running this ship.
it's his team.
It's his
It's no
team.
longer Randall's team. It's
I
no
don't never,
longer.
no, let me tell you something. I don't think it was ever Randall's team. I think it was
I agree
always
with that.
up in the air. I think it was
Well,
always up in the air.
Tibbs tried to make it
Hmm.
before Brunson got here. He tried to make it, and
He
he
did.
treated Julius like that's why I'm saying that. But I
Yeah,
agree
but
with you.
it's
He
this is
treated Julius like that, and it cost us some playoff series
yeah,
because of it.
but this is Jalen's team, and Jalen is running this team how he wants to run this team. You know what this reminds me of? I put it in our group chat earlier. This reminds me of the Steve Nash years, those 2 MVP years that Steve Nash had. Coincidentally, Jalen's got better stats than Steve Nash got those 2 MVP seasons.
Right.
Jalen's got better stats. So if you're really judging the MVP race on most valuable player to a team,
It's
then
SGA or Jalen Brunson. It's either
it's
one of those
SGA
two.
or Jalen Brunson.
They don't
Now
want to
this
give it to
kid,
a guard. That's what it
they
is.
don't
They
want to
don't
give
want
it
to
to a
give it to
guard.
a guard.
But this SGA, speaking of which,
Woo, 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 woo,
We
woo.
were talking about him before you got on. Yeah, man.
speaking
And
of
Shannon
which,
Sharp disrespected that dude today.
He really
Yo,
did.
Shannon Sharp's a football player. He has no knowledge of basketball whatsoever. I don't respect his basketball IQ at all
Only
whatsoever under
only
any
cat I respect right now is
circumstances.
Kendrick Perkins.
That's the only one. That's the only one. Like Kendrick Perkins is like, and that's because Kendrick Perkins played the game professionally and he knows what the game looks like. He is a student of the game, which is
Right. He still
why
watches the game. Yep.
which is the reason why I am as confident as I am about this Eastern Conference Finals. Because if anybody knows the team that looks like the team that's going that far, he would know. He's been that far. So he knows what this team looks like. This team is, but now back to this kid SGA, yo. He averaged 30 something points the entire Yo, my man scored 30 something points in 60 games. Yo,
And there's only 82 games in the season.
yo, I didn't pay
S-
much attention to him this season because
SGA
I
is a
was
problem,
watching my Knicks.
right? But you know, I'm
But
paying attention to everybody. SGA
but
is that
Listen, when he
dude is
came
a
to the
problem.
Garden, he did his thing. When he came to the Garden.
yeah, but they
And
lost that game though, right? We
no,
beat them.
we
No,
lost that
the
game.
Knicks lost
We
that
lost.
game.
We,
Yeah.
he beat us on the last second shot.
He
When I'm
beat us
trying
on
to
the
figure
last
out
second shot.
why in the world Tibbs put Deuce on him at the end of the
Right. He
game.
shot right over Deuce.
Like, dude, at least put Josh Hart on him. Make him have to get that shot a little higher. You're gonna put somebody 6'1" on somebody 6'6" for a fall away from the baseline? Are you kidding me?
This Christmas
That
gifts.
that
This
shot was
Christmas
money.
gifts for you,
The
man.
moment he put it
He
up,
was up
that
here the
shot
other
was
day
money.
for me.
It was like, that was right after Jalen didn't get a foul call at the other end that he should have gotten on
Of
his
course.
basket.
Of course. Of course.
Right. But it does seem to be working because the last couple of games Jalen's been going to the line. And I got to give Tibbs his props for Sunday because I always personally scream this where it comes to overtime games. But I'm like, you got to put fresh legs on the floor. And for him to go away from Isaiah Hartenstein and put in Precious Achua, who had fresh legs, was huge because those two baskets that Precious got in overtime.
Those offensive rebounds.
Yes, those were huge. And that's all because of fresh legs. That was only because he had the freshest legs on the court. He had the
Yeah, that was
freshest
great
legs on the court.
coaching. That was
For
great
once.
coaching. For once. Yeah.
For once.
Yeah. Again, I'm not worried. I'm not concerned. You know, I might let the chips fall.
Willie, I love you, but I'm convinced you don't watch basketball. There's no reason or need to avoid Indiana. You know why? Because for all of Indiana's size and length, number one, there is no playoff pedigree. And number two, they don't defend. They have to outscore you, which you can't do in the postseason.
Willie thinks, no, you know what? Willie thinks that they're going to bring Caitlin Clark onto the roster for the playoffs in Indiana. That's what that is.
She went to the Indiana Fever. The Indiana Fever, not the Indiana Pacers.
I know. I don't think he knows.
But huge season from our Knicks. We're at halftime now. In where are they? In New Orleans. Lakers lead by 10. It's 60-50. So they may not be tanking. I mean, you know, I don't think
that was
that's
the report.
Listen, Zion Williamson.
I'm not going to regret nothing. You root for a team that's allegedly trying to tank tonight's game so that they can avoid the Denver Nuggets. Like, I can't take your take seriously, bro.
Zion falls asleep every
yes,
time
remember.
they play the Lakers.
Hold on, before you get into that, 1 second. Yes, I'm still waiting for you. Can I send you the link now? Because you were the one that told me 3 months ago when I told you that my point guard was a superstar. You tried to take me to task.
We had a big argument on this.
Can you come on now so you can give me my apology because he is top 5 in the MVP race right now?
He's definitely top 5 in the MVP race.
Top 5.
My point guard averaged 38 and 7 over the last month of the season.
Last 10 games.
The point guard who you says doesn't elevate anybody is averaging 10, 11 assists a game.
Good.
Your words, bro. No shots. I'm just saying. I need you to come on and admit that you were wrong. You don't have to do it tonight. You can do it after game 1.
No, he should come on, though. He should come on.
He was very
he
like,
should come on.
Like condescending and confident in what he was
apology?
saying.
You did, fellas, did he not say that if Jalen proved him
season,
wrong at the
Yes,
end of
did.
the season, that he would come on and admit that Jalen Brunson was a superstar? Are you ready to do that, bro? If you're ready to do that, we'll be happy to bring you on. But I'm gonna tell you,
he made the All-Star game. He made the All-Star game. That's one. 2, right now, he is a definite top 5 MVP candidate, if not top 3. If not top 3. And if
you're honest, it's really just between him and SGA, but nobody wants to talk about that.
If the writers get it right, they may have to make him and that dude co-MVPs. Because we've seen that before.
Yeah.
Those two guys, co-rookies of the year.
Those two guys elevated their team.
Did we see co-MVP of the year as well? Did we see co-MVP?
No,
that was the All-Star game.
That was the
All-Star game with Shaq. That was the
Yeah,
Yeah,
All-Star
Cole
game with
MVP of the
Shaq and
All-Star
Kobe.
game and Cole Rookie of the Year. We've seen those.
Cole Rookie of the Year was Stoudemire and J Kidd, right?
yeah,
It was yes.
yeah.
It was Jason Kidd and somebody.
It was
I
Jason
think it was
Kidd and Damon
Stoudemire.
Stoudemire.
Yeah.
Yeah, Damon Stoudemire.
And then in the All-Star game it was
Kobe and Shaq.
Jason, it was or Grant Hill and somebody. I remember. Yeah. But listen, people don't want to give the man his props.
They gotta give him his props, man. They gotta give him his props.
Still gonna come on here and disrespect the man's work.
They gotta give him his props. Now, SGA is where I think what's he on? Timberwolves, right?
No, SGA is Oklahoma City Thunder.
The number one
OKC.
seed. Number one
I did not
seed.
watch them. I didn't watch them at all this year. I'm sorry, I did not watch them at all. Like I just saw highlights from the other day, and I was like, oh, hold up, wait a minute, where's this kid from?
top three seeds out west
They're a problem. They're a
those
problem.
top three seeds that's sitting out there, OKC, Denver, and the Timberwolves. Those three teams right there. That's
That's a load for whoever comes out of the East. That's a load for any of those three. Is a load.
Who's winning?
And
the
Phoenix
I sent you.
and Phoenix is
I
rounding
sent it
into
to your
form.
Facebook inbox, Willie. I sent it to your inbox. Who's winning, Warriors or Kings? I listen.
Warriors.
I can't go against Clay and Steph and them. I can't go against them.
Can't go against them. Too much clutch experience.
Yeah.
Too much experience.
Yeah.
Warriors.
Yeah.
Too much experience.
Yeah.
Although
way
I
too
would
much
love
experience.
although I would love to see the Warriors not in the playoffs at all, because then that would mark the beginning of the end.
Of the
that.
end.
But
That would
Draymond's
mark
been
it.
playing lights out these last few games, man. He looks like the old Draymond Green.
That's
He
because
probably got his head
Draymond-
back on straight.
Draymond sees that chopping block.
Yeah. This is
He
it for
sees that
Draymond.
chopping block.
Yeah,
He
Clay.
sees
They
that
talk
chopping
already.
block.
Clay's gonna be a free agent.
Clay's definitely going to the free agency.
They're talking about him going to Orlando. That Orlando's looking at him.
Orlando's looking at him. They definitely are.
That would be a
I like
great
this
pickup
Knicks
for them.
team.
Oh my god.
I like this Knicks team. Jesus Christ! Just could you imagine if we did not have any injuries this year? Could you imagine? Could you imagine had we made that RJ trade for OG in the beginning of the year? Because let's
I'm
not
just so
forget.
glad that they did it. Cause we,
Listen,
Let's
I
not
reset
forget.
my 2K season on season mode with the teams currently constructed and 23 games in, and I'm 20-3. And I'm like, this is scary. With OG, I'm 20-3. Like, it's
Yo,
like
What's the
this
record
is
with OG on the OG in the lineup?
20
The
and
record
3.
by
20 and 3.
20-3. It's 20-3 with OG.
20 wins, 3 losses.
20-3 when OG plays.
Yo, I mean, could you imagine?
The
Could
plus
you
minus
imagine?
is crazy.
The plus minus is ridiculous, yo. The plus, and then on top of that, we 20-3 with him in the lineup, and he missed how many games? He missed like 20 games.
Yep, 20 games. Willie Green joins us. Big Willie style.
What's up?
What's going on, bro?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
We great. We waiting for our apology.
Number one, you're not getting an apology because you got the conversation wrong. Number two, I said
You
I
know
would
I have
call.
the tape,
let me,
right?
let me. You can take the. You can pull the date up. You can pull the conversation. I said I would call you a superstar if they made the Eastern Conference Finals. That's what I said.
That's not what you said.
Yes, it is. Yes, it
That
is.
is not what you
You
said. You
asked
said
me-
at the end
he
of the
said-
season.
No, I said if
J-Man,
your
did you
man
say
made-
the end of the
If
season?
your man, no, absolutely not. One thing we're not going to do on here. This is your show.
I have
One thing I'm not going to do. One thing I'm not going to do is forget a
I'm
conversation
witnesses.
about a guy that I said is not a superstar. Now I said this man is not a superstar, and I
So
said
you,
if
so
your man
so
gets him-
okay.
Wait,
All right.
let me
I
finish.
don't, we
Let
don't
me
we don't
finish.
even
Let me-
we don't even need an apology, Willie.
I already know
Let's-
this is going to
we
be a
could-
triple team. This is going to be a triple team like
No,
WWE.
it's not.
I already know that.
No, it's not. I'm
I haven't
I'm
said a
gonna
word.
gracefully- I'm going
I
to gracefully
said-
bow out.
listen, God
You
is
honestly
my
believe?
God
You
is my
honestly,
super judge like he's your
Willie,
super judge.
Willie,
If
you
he makes
honestly
it to the
believe?
Eastern Conference, we're gonna keep going on this forever. Y'all Knicks fans, so I expect this.
No.
If
I'm not going to
I
go on
said
this
if he
with you
makes the
forever.
Eastern Conference Finals, I would get on here and call him a superstar. That's
Got
exactly
nothing to
what
do with being a Knicks fan.
Here's,
Look at the
here's my
numbers.
question. Here's my question, Willie. This man, have you?
And
I want you to go look at the stats and
I want
ask yourself the question.
to
Hold on, didn't I
articulate
let
you
you
guys
talk?
for
I know I
championship
let you
series.
talk.
That's what I
You
want.
asked me to let you talk. I let you talk.
All right.
I did. The Eastern Conference Finals is what's going to prove that he's a superstar
For
in
me,
this
yes.
league.
I said it
Are
for
you
me, yes.
kidding me? Well, you
Not
know what,
not the
brother?
not
I am
not
so
the fact that he
seriously
Come on,
glad.
elevated
man.
his not the
He,
fact that he
I am
elevated
he
his
can
so
team
do this
after
seriously.
all
his
season. Let me ask you a question. He can do this all season long, right? And let's think about something, Bishop D. The minute I thought he got hurt, right? Everybody gasped, right? Everyone. So was that the game he was in Milwaukee? Was it the game he was in Milwaukee? We thought he blew his Achilles, and I said he blew his Achilles, and it wasn't that. And I was mistaken, right?
correct.
But the minute everybody saw that, everybody thought, for me included, right, as a basketball fan, I thought y'all season was over, right? But thank God he did not get hurt in that way. You know, I'm grateful because I know it's not, honestly, from a personal standpoint of it, and being a basketball guy myself, I know what that feels like. So I'm saying, being that I have not seen the Knicks and one player take the Knicks to where they really want to go, I can't trust this. I can't trust to say that this guy's going to do that for y'all right now. And I
Okay, you're
said,
scarred.
if he
All
gets,
right, you're scarred. You're scarred. All right.
I'm not
There's no need.
scarred. It's not. It
Yeah,
has
you're
nothing
scarred.
to do with
You're
being
scarred.
scarred.
You're a former Knicks fan who
No,
has
I'm
gone
not.
through. You've gone through the trauma.
I've never been a
Well,
Knicks fan.
there is no way in the world that you can
Now
tell
let me
me
ask you
that
a question.
Jalen Brunson is
I
not a
did say
superstar. This kid is.
Knicks basketball is good for playoff basketball. I did say that. Did I not?
Nah, I'm not even
Did I
buying
not?
that. I'm not even buying that.
Yo,
It's
hold
not
on.
good for. It's not good for
All New
playoff.
York
No.
basketball is good for basketball. It
No,
doesn't
no,
matter
no,
if I
no,
like
no, no,
it. It is.
no. I'm not saying that. I'm not gonna say that because the years that the Knicks wasn't in the playoffs, I was enjoying the playoffs. So I don't care about the Knicks being in the playoffs
Nah.
and it being
Listen,
good for basketball.
listen,
That's not
listen,
it.
let me
It's
be real.
good. No,
I'm
what?
a Laker
Hold on,
fan.
Will. Hold on, Will. Hold on, Will. Hold on, Will.
But if New York Knicks,
Knicks.
if the Knicks are not in play,
Hold
if
on.
the Knicks are not in the playoffs,
This
it's
guy,
not.
he doesn't
For me,
want
it's
to.
not
He
good.
don't want to let nobody talk. He don't want to let nobody talk.
No,
He
because
likes
you
to
don't want
be
to hear
heard.
truth from you. Won't hear the truth from me when I'm saying the New York Knicks are good for playoff basketball. I'm
No,
not
the New
disputing
York
that.
Knicks are the New York Knicks are not good for playoff basketball.
You
The
bugging.
New York Knicks are good for playoff marketing. The New York Knicks are good for playoff TV. It's not good for playoff basketball because they could be trash and that could be a bad playoff experience. I'm talking about good for playoff. They good for TV. They good for those numbers that they want to make on Fifth Avenue. That's what they good for.
And
Okay,
you a Knicks fan
that's
saying
what they.
that? You're a Knicks
It's
fan.
the
You
truth.
believe that?
Because
But
it's
it's the
the
truth.
truth.
Yo, hold on.
Because it's
the
You're gonna
truth.
tell me. You're gonna tell me now. As much as I hate even saying it to you, you're gonna tell me that the New York Knicks, the Knickerbockers in the playoffs, is not good for basketball and playoff basketball. They're not.
No,
It's good for the money.
because
Give me a
no, because
break,
I'm
y'all.
not because I'm
Come
not
on,
gonna
that's like
because I'm not gonna.
then you don't really bleed
Yo,
orange and blue if you're saying that.
you crazy, son. I'm not you crazy. I'm not gonna box my team into that one dimension. Oh, they're good for playoff basketball. Because if that's the case, they could have been skating into the playoffs for the last 20-something years, whether they be the 8th seed or the 1st seed, and it would have just been good for playoff basketball. No, it's not about them being good for
So
playoff
wait, so
basketball.
no
It's not
matter where
about
the Knicks,
they
so
are
no matter
good.
where the
They
Knicks
are
are seated, they're not good for playoff basketball.
They are good for the money. They're
No, what he's
good for
saying
the
is
marketing.
it goes deeper than what you're saying.
It
That's
goes
what
way
he's saying.
deeper than that. It
That's
goes
what
way
he's saying.
because
He's not
trust
saying
me,
I'm
he's not saying what
totally
you
blocking
said.
that out because that's
He's not saying
nah.
he's not saying what you said is not true. What
Yo,
he's
bro.
saying is that it goes beyond that. That's
Yeah,
what I'm hearing.
because
they do that during the
it's
regular season. So it's like that's why I'm saying I'm
listen to
blocking it
me.
out. The
It
Knicks
was
during the
not
regular
good.
season sell out
Listen to me.
tickets, sell
Listen
out
to
the
me.
Garden,
Listen
regardless
to me.
if they playing a trash team or they playing the top team in either conference. That's what
That's
I'm.
business. That's business. Will, it was not good for us. It was not good for playoff basketball when we got canned out of here by the Hawks a couple of years ago. That was not good. That was not good. The only people that benefited was the individuals going to the bank on Fifth Avenue at
All right.
NBA headquarters. That's the only people that benefited.
I respectfully disagree.
Okay, every Knicks fan felt the brunt of that. Every Knicks fan felt the pain of that. Every Knicks fan.
So
It was not
you're
good.
saying
It was
even
not good.
even
Let me
with that,
finish,
you
bro.
think that was a bad
Let me
team, and you
finish,
think that
bro.
they
Let
weren't
me
good.
finish,
They weren't
bro.
good.
Let me finish, bro. Let me finish. It was not good. It was not good. When the year we won 54 games and we got bounced out of there by the Heat, when that was definitely a team that we could have beat.
No, you couldn't.
Okay? It was not good.
Playoffs are
Come on,
about
son.
matchups too, man. So what you saying?
Come on,
Playoffs are about
son.
matchups.
Not bounced out of there by the Heat. I mean bounced out of there by the
Indiana.
Pacers. We got
Indiana.
bounced out of there by the Pacers, which that was
Roy
the
Hibbert.
year.
The Roy Hibbert block.
That was the year we
Hold
had
on.
the Heat number.
Wait,
We
hold
won
on.
that Heat series
They
3-1
had
that
George.
season.
Hold on. Let me say this. They had George Hill. They had Paul George. If I'm not mistaken, they had Danny Granger. They had Roy Hibbert. They had a crew. They had a crew. Playoff basketball is about matchups, and like you said, like my man said tonight, the Lakers supposedly were going to tank because they don't want to see the Nuggets. The playoffs are about matchups. And honestly, me being a Laker, I know the Nuggets are not a good matchup. But we ain't gonna duck that smoke. Whether we get beat in 4 games, we get beat in 6 games, or we might not get beat at all. But we don't know the situation, or we don't know the scenario. One injury in the playoffs could change the trajectory of a whole series, no matter who it is.
Case in point, Milwaukee. Case in point, Milwaukee.
Right, like yo. So I'm saying to y'all, like I said, I said this a couple of times when I came on the show before. As much as people don't think Indiana is a good team or a great team, they're a bad matchup because they dictate pace. The playoffs are about who can dictate and impose their will of the pace on the game. Doesn't matter if it's slow or fast. If you can dictate pace in a playoff series, you are prone to win a series. Now, all Indiana has to do, let's say, God forsaken, y'all would have ran in Indiana. Y'all lost that game against Chicago, and y'all end up being a 3 seed. That's a bad matchup in the first round for you. Being with a team that number one has nothing to lose, but everything to gain by beating a number 3 or a number 2 seed. Indiana's a bad matchup for any of the top seeds, maybe except for the Celtics. But like I said, one injury can change the trajectory of the series. So you gotta put that into place. Just because it's not Indiana, we can beat them. Philly could be a bad matchup for y'all because number one, if Embiid is going to play like Embiid and he's getting rest, or if
Embiid's
he's
not going to play like Embiid.
you don't know that, but you don't know that. Mitchell, God forbid, anybody,
and let me say this to you. We
Yeah.
beat Philly with Embiid on the court this year a few
Okay.
times. And we don't
By
care about
38.
that. Come on, son. We don't care about that. Stop sleeping on my boys. Stop sleeping on them. Because you're sleeping on them.
I'm not sleeping on them. I'm not sleeping on them. I just
Don't
said
do that.
when it comes to the playoffs,
If I may, Willie, let me take your logic and reverse it.
Sure.
Because what I hear, and I could be wrong, I'll preface this by saying, but what I hear is someone who has already decided that they have a disdain, a hatred, or what have you for the Knicks. And I'm gonna tell you why. Don't interrupt me. Because all I hear you say is this team is a bad matchup for the Knicks. This team is a bad matchup for the Knicks. Who are the Knicks a bad matchup for? Every one of those teams as well. Because throughout the regular season, the Knicks have proven that whatever those teams have thrown at them, they have countered and overcome.
No,
He didn't watch those games. He didn't watch those games.
Hold on, I'm not done. Wait, I'm not done. Because if you're saying Philly with Embiid is a bad matchup and we beat them 3 out of 4, are they really a bad matchup for the Knicks, or are the Knicks a bad matchup for them?
No, I didn't say they were bad. I didn't say they were a bad matchup. I said
I'm not done, Willie. If Indiana, again, using your logic, if Indiana was beaten 3 out of 4 by the Knicks during the regular season, are the Knicks not a bad matchup for a bigger Pacer team? The front line is huge. The Knicks start Josh Hart at the 3.
Okay.
Tradition, that would be a bad matchup, right? But the Knicks have handled it. We can't talk. We don't know who a bad matchup is. I agree with your point about the fact that when an injury can change the trajectory. But the playoffs are about matchups, yes, but they're about coaching and they're about sheer will. They are about experience. They are about playoff pedigree. All of those things factor in. Quite honestly, matchups are at the bottom of the totem pole because every team that's a playoff team is a playoff team because they were good enough to be the top 8 in their conference out of 16. So there's no such thing as a good or bad matchup in a 7-game series. It's
let me ask you a
who
question
wants
then.
it more.
Let me
And
ask
the
you
Knicks
the
have
question.
proven all season long in
Who's
those
the
games that
preferable
they
matchup
won
for
it more.
you, in your
There
opinion?
is no preferable matchup. I
It
don't
should
care
be.
about matchups.
It should be. It
No,
should
there
be.
are no preferable
Wow.
matchups for me. It's
Because
go
you
out there
want,
and
I'm
win
saying
games.
this from a perspective of you want to avoid Boston in a second round or
We don't
third,
want to
at least
avoid
in the
nobody.
conference finals.
I don't.
We don't want to avoid nobody.
Yes, you
wanna
do.
avoid
Yes, you
anybody.
do.
No, we don't.
Yes, you
We don't
do.
want to avoid nobody.
You're
Ain't
bugging.
nobody out here to avoid
You're
nobody.
bugging. All right,
Ain't
when you
nobody
get
here to
bounced,
avoid nobody.
when you get
Avoid
bounced
who?
from semi, I
It's not
told you
about.
so.
It
Who we
wasn't getting
avoiding?
the 2 seed. Wasn't about avoiding Boston. It
You
was
don't
about
wanna-
securing
I
home
never
court.
said that. Why
You
y'all
don't
putting
wanna-
words in my mouth? That's not what I
You
said.
said
No,
you want
you
to
said-
avoid Boston. Why would we want to avoid Boston?
Yeah, wow.
Where would you rather get to Boston? You'd rather get to Boston in the second round or the Eastern Conference Finals?
Does it matter?
doesn't matter.
When you
Yes,
think
it
you
does
when you,
matter.
when you
It does
believe you
matter.
can beat that team, does it matter?
Do you think Boston laid down in that game that you played against them?
No, I don't, because they were pressing Jalen Brunson 3 quarters court for three quarters. They were throwing
Did
double
that,
teams
did
and
that game
blitzers
mean
at
more
him
to
the
Boston or
entire.
did that game mean more to Boston or did it mean more to y'all?
Doesn't matter.
It
The
does.
coach put out a game plan to neutralize our best
Then
player,
they
and it
shouldn't have.
didn't
Then they
work.
shouldn't have put their starters out there, my brother.
Right? If they didn't
If
care,
it didn't matter and the game and Boston had
Boston,
nothing to lose, then
Boston
you
was
don't
in.
play. You don't play your
No,
starters.
Boston was
play
in
your
a
starters.
lose-lose for that game because
All right.
it's if you don't play your top players and the Knicks beat you, people are going to say, "Oh, you just let the Knicks win." But you went out there with your best players and over 3 quarters got beat by 31 points. You
Okay.
couldn't stop the Knicks' best player,
Okay.
no matter what you threw at him. So whether the game meant something to Boston because they were playing their biggest Eastern Conference rival, you forget these rivalries are important, whether we think it is or not. To these teams, these rivalries are important. So yes, they ran their starting 5, their playoff starting 5, out against us for 3 quarters. And what did it mean? Nothing. Mazzola, if Mazzola
Willie
didn't
Green-
care, he would have sat him
Willie
in the first
Green
quarter.
is an analytics guy.
Did you cut out
That's
the
what
lights?
he is.
Wait.
He's an analytics guy.
I don't follow analytics. I don't follow that stuff.
He's an analytics guy. Yes, he is. Because
I got
because
my
nothing,
eyes. I got my
nothing
eyes
you have
glued
said,
on the. I got my
nothing
eyes
that you
glued on
have
the
said
game.
makes any
You're an
sense.
analytics guy,
Nothing.
not me.
No way. No, I'm
I don't
not.
follow
I'm a
analytics.
competitor. I'm a competitor, baby. I'm a competitor. I'm nowhere near an analytics guy. I'm gonna go out there and you use your skills kind of guy, and that's
Okay.
what that is. Ain't got nothing to do with analytics.
Listen,
nigga.
I'm
And
telling you now.
right now.
I'm telling you now.
Lakers
The
by
next
13 midway through
easiest way to the
third
Eastern
quarter.
Conference Finals is to avoid Indiana.
To
I'm
avoid
telling
who?
you that. I'm telling you that.
There is no easy path to the Eastern Conference Finals
There is none.
for
There is
anybody.
no easy path to the and listen, and if going to the Eastern Conference Finals
They're
means
all
going through
playoff teams.
if going to the Eastern Conference Finals means going through Indiana, I'll take that 3-1 record over the regular season at any day.
You throw that out the window.
No, don't throw it out the window.
You can
Why are we
throw that
throwing
out
it
the
out the
window.
window? Why are we
Y'all-
throwing it out the window?
You
Why we gotta throw?
hold on to
So
that.
wait,
You hold
so
on to
hold
that.
on a second. Why we gotta throw the facts out the window? Because those are the facts.
That
Why do we
doesn't
have
mean
to throw?
nothing in a 7-game series. Nothing.
No, it doesn't
Nothing.
have to mean anything in a seven
You're right.
game
Who
series.
wants it more
It means who
something
wants
in a
it more.
7-game series.
I mean, who wants it more?
Isn't
Who
that
wants
what
it
isn't that
more
what
means
Julius
something in a
Randle said
7-game
last
series.
year against Miami? He said, "I guess they wanted it more." That's
That's what he said. It's about the facts, though, Willie. And
That's
the
what he
facts
said.
are this. The facts are this. We know this team, and we beat them 3 times out of 4. So that means we know how to beat them. That means
Okay.
we know what it takes to beat them. That
All
means
right.
we know what parts of the court they can't play on. We know what they can't handle defensively. We know what they can't handle
Gentlemen,
offensively.
I'm gonna take my leave. I'm gonna get back in this bed, but this
Yeah,
been
go
fun.
get back in the
All
bed,
right.
please rest.
It's been
Feel
We'll
better,
fun.
see you
man.
Saturday. Feel better.
Thank
We'll see
you.
you Saturday after game 1, man.
Yeah,
Feel better, bro.
y'all pray for your brother, man. But
We
thank
got you,
you.
bro.
And this was good. This was great conversation. And I like
Absolutely.
this. I like Willie Green. I like him. I do. Believe it or not,
I love him.
I
That's
do.
my bro.
I
Willie is my
love.
bro.
I love.
That's my
I
bro.
love the passion that he comes
It's-
with, and I
right.
love it. You
There's
know,
very few people that can rile me up like this.
that's it.
I'm not
Exactly.
tolerating it. And he's my goddaughter's father. But I'm
And
not
he's a fellow,
tolerating him.
bus operator, so that's why I got to give him some slack. So
I'm not tolerating him coming on this show
J
with
Mac,
that
have a good night, man.
blasphemous
All right,
talking,
y'all.
because it's blasphemy. It's blasphemy what he's talking. It's
I don't
blasphemy.
understand. I don't understand how it's blasphemy when me at the naked eye look. Like I said, in a regular season, I get it because number one, there's seedings being played for, there's positioning being played for, and once you kind of know and gauge where you're going to fall, whether it be 1 through 6 or 7 and 8, playing or play out, right? Indiana's not gonna. I'm talking about Indiana as a whole. I'm not rooting for them. Don't get me wrong. I'm just talking about basketball straight up. The Knicks are a very smart team, right? And I know that everybody felt like that number 2 seed shouldn't have meant a whole lot, but it did, because as much as you don't understand when the playoffs start, it's 0-0, and Rick Carlisle is a championship coach.
True.
Tom
A
Thibodeau
championship,
is
a champion.
two-time-
Wait. Let me stop right there. A championship coach where?
Dallas, 2011. Go look it
That's
up.
correct. Rick Carlisle was coach of
Rick
that team. That's
Carlisle
correct.
Okay.
took the Dallas Mavericks
He
with Dirk
beat
Nowitzki
LeBron.
and Jason Kidd to the
He
NBA
beat the Big Three.
championship against
He beat the Big
LeBron
Three.
James and the
That's
Heat.
correct. That's
Okay.
correct.
Okay.
First year of
Okay.
the Big Three. So now, Rick Carlisle not only is a championship coach, former Boston Celtic, championship player, has championship pedigree, knows how to make adjustments on the fly, regardless of the record in the regular season. That is not going to be the same team you saw in the regular season. Trust and know. I'm just using Indiana as a caveat to what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the Philadelphia 76ers were without Joel Embiid for almost a month and a half because of that meniscus strain or tear, whatever he had, right?
Mm-hmm.
Embiid probably not going to be at 100%. More likely, he's not going to be at 100% this year. But 85 to 90% Embiid is still a problem. And you still have Tyrese Maxey. You have Kelly Oubre. You got Tobias Harris. The X factor in that series to me, because honestly, the Swiss Army knife works out better in a series like that because you don't know how he's going to affect the game.
Agreed.
You don't know that. So for me, it's 0-0 until we get to maybe game 2 or game 3. Because whoever loses the first game has to make the adjustment. The pressure is not on the team that wins the first game. The pressure is on the team that loses the first game. So for me, adjustments matter. So for Philadelphia, if that is to be your matchup, all the pressure's on the Knicks because they're at home court. The pressure's not on Philly. They have nothing to really gain. They have really nothing to really lose because they're coming back with a coming off of injury in Joel Embiid. So all the pressure's on the Knicks. Saturday.
And you've got a Knicks team that's been playing with pressure for the last 50 games because their number 2 scorer has been out. Their starting center has been out. Their backup center was down with an Achilles injury. And their top defender who plays the 3 and the 4 was also out. So
and what's their record?
Agree with,
and what is their record?
Your point,
and
what
is their
record
in that 50 games?
You're looking at one side of the coin and not seeing how those very same points you're using actually work as positives for the Knicks as well.
Well, we would hope so. I'm just saying, but going back to the conversation, I did say, if they get to the Eastern Conference Finals, I'll call your man a superstar. That's all I said.
He don't even need to be in the Eastern Conference Finals to be a superstar. To be honest with you,
I said for me.
We're so glad you're not the GM.
Oh yeah. By the way, Lakers up 75. Lakers up. They're supposed to tank. Lakers up 75-57.
Listen, I was just reporting what was out there to me.
Zion
I would have thought it was stupid for them to
Zion,
tank anyway. I'm like,
Zion
you play
Williamson
who's in
goes
front
to
of you.
sleep.
You want the
Zion
best seed
Williamson-
possible. Win the game.
If I'm a Laker fan, I want that smoke in the first round.
Right. I'm with you on that.
Smoke in
I
the
don't
first
disagree
round.
with you. Because if you end up beating Denver, now everybody's like,
Now
oh.
what? Now what?
Right, exactly.
And the Lakers have had the best record in the Western Conference since the All-Star break. They're 22-10.
Correct.
Listen to me. The Lakers have a Deal with the devil having LeBron James.
What?
There's no beating him in the playoffs
What?
unless his leg is off. You can't beat that, Nick. You cannot beat him
But
in the
listen,
playoffs. He's got a.
but even with
He's
that,
they.
I agree to a point. You cannot still. LeBron is 39 years old.
Correct.
You cannot depend on him to score 40 every night.
You
That's
don't
true.
need to. It's just
That's
the
true.
fact that he's there.
No, he shouldn't have to.
He shouldn't have to. And honestly, Willie,
What
I'm
he
with you.
did,
Okay,
because I
okay. Let me
when he had a
wait.
triple-double where he had 23,
Let me say this
17,
one more
and 10,
time.
and
Hold on a
12,
second.
13 assists.
Hold on. Let me say this one more time. You don't have to depend on him to score 40 points a game. It's the fact that he is there. It's almost like staring at the Yankees pinstripes. You can't take your eyes off the pinstripes, which is the reason why most people lose. Do you know how many fights Mike Tyson went into the ring with and never trained? It was the intimidation factor, the coming to the ring, that caused the opponent to lose the bout. LeBron is already in the head of his opponent before he even gets on the court. This is the reason why Zion Williamson, as great as he is down by 20-something points right now. Because he cannot get past the aura of LeBron James.
That's not it.
'Cause-
I
No,
agree.
come on.
I agree with everything you said except that.
Well,
Number one, Zion Williamson don't want to be in New Orleans. He don't want to be there. I'm gonna tell you
Doesn't
He
what
wants to be in
matter.
New York.
Thank you. I'm getting ready to say that.
What's the
He wanted to be with his man RJ, but that never
Yeah.
happened. Never materialized.
well, then he needs to go to Canada because we don't want RJ back. Because RJ already said, I got to work on my defense because that's the reason why I got ousted out of there.
I actually like RJ in Toronto. I actually like him at home because he
he's
has no
better
pressure
there.
on him. He has no pressure on him there.
Absolutely.
No pressure on him
He's
to play
better
at
in
home.
Toronto. He's better
Yeah,
in
that's what I'm
Toronto.
saying. Like, there's no pressure on him to play at home.
I would love for them to give us.
they-
I would love for them
We'll
to
see
give us
next year how
Emmanuel
they
back.
turn
though.
out, but we ain't talking about them.
Yeah, RJ in Toronto is not like Steph Marbury back in New York. Like there's no pressure for him
Right,
because
right,
in Toronto
right.
he's like he is the man there.
Right, he's
Like
the man
when
there.
Steph
So
came
it is what
home,
it is.
all the pressure was on him because he was from here.
And,
Well,
then,
let
and
me
he
say
had
this,
no team.
wait.
And he had no team around him.
No.
That too.
He had a garbage squad.
The difference between RJ and Steph is RJ is a suburban Canada kid. Steph is a projects kid. And everybody from Lincoln High School and Coney Island Marlboro projects was at the game, or at least standing outside the game trying to get in. So no, my
But I
man was
played
at the
I played
club.
against him. I played against him, so I know what kind of pressure he was under.
I played too.
He was a handful to deal with. I'll tell you that.
And
please, come on.
I played against him in high school as well. So yeah,
He's a
Oh,
handful.
please, come on. Starberry was a problem.
he was a problem.
Strawberry-
He was an
Strawberry was a
absolute
problem.
problem.
But your
And
man
with the-
has to prove for me. Like I said, I'm about the playoffs for me. Because like I said, Tibbs has had a history of running his guys in the ground. And I would hate to see this happen to him, being that he's had to do all of this through the season to get them to this point, and he come up short in the playoffs.
And that's the thing that I don't think is going to happen.
That's my only
I think that this
that's my
kid,
only gripe. That's my only
I
gripe
think-
about the Knicks. Is
you know,
that
right now,
they
the
make
two
they
best-
make the season is
I
the
will-
season their ceiling. That's my question.
I will
Always
say
gonna be my
this.
question.
I will say this about Jalen Brunson. I feel like he's better suited to play the Tibbs style than say a Derrick Rose was, because Derrick Rose was an
what I
athletic,
was getting ready
high-flying
to say.
player. Jalen
That's what I was getting
Brunson
ready to say.
is more grounded. He's more about footwork and about pace. Like Derrick Rose in his MVP year, he just ran through you. He ran at you full speed all the time. Jalen Brunson doesn't play with that kind of reckless abandon.
Nope.
Thereby, it'll be harder for Tibbs to run him into the ground because Jalen sets the pace on the floor. So
Yeah,
on
but that's
some
my problem.
plays-
But that's my problem. He doesn't get rest. You understand what I'm saying?
No,
That's
I
what I
understand
mean.
what
by
you mean,
that.
but I think that's
like,
why
it's like
Jalen plays
you
the
have
way
to
he plays for
has to
Tibbs.
facilitate,
Yeah.
articulate the offense, and then if there's nothing else out of the offense that he facilitates, he has to create. Like that's tiresome for
It
a
is.
point for a 6'2" point guard. If I'm not mistaken, 6'2", 6'3" point guard. To
Listed at
facilitate
6'2". He's
and
like
create
6'1".
your offense, and then not only create your offense, but give them the identity that no one else can bring them except for maybe on great nights DiVincenzo. You understand? So
Mhm.
for me in the playoffs with that, teams are gonna neutralize something from him to be able to facilitate. They're gonna have to. And I mean that I'm not saying that in the same, well, I hope that's what happens to the Knicks. But teams are gonna gear to take away something that Jalen usually utilizes. They're gonna take away something. And
Oh, they've
then
been doing that all season.
but
No, they've been
Trying to.
doing it all
bro,
Trying to.
season.
you're not
Trying
gonna see that. You're not gonna see the whole kitchen sink during the season. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They're not gonna. Teams are not gonna throw all of their defensive schemes at a player during the regular season. You know this. Come on, man. You play basketball.
Well,
If I
stop.
blitz you,
Stop.
and I play a stack 1-and-1,
So what are
I'm
you
not
saying
gonna
though?
show you
So what
that
you
during the playoffs.
so in essence, what you're saying is, and if this is what you're saying, then fine. Then we'll just wait until he gets to the Eastern Conference Finals for you to say, you know what, I take it back.
You
But
already
if
passed
this
the
is
first round. Okay.
no, because this is what you're saying. You're
Listen,
saying
there's another two-headed
no.
monster in
What
front of
you
him
what you are
that's gonna switch
saying,
up
Will,
things too.
what you are saying in essence, Will, this is the playoffs. The regular season was a fluke. Now we gonna
No,
find
that's
out
not
what
what
it
I'm saying.
really is.
That's not what I'm
Will,
saying.
Will,
That's not
Will,
what
hear
I'm
me
saying.
out. Will,
I'm
can you
saying that
please
this
hear
is
me?
just
Can you
this is the
please?
ceiling for the Knicks. That's all I'm saying.
Can you please hear me out? Hear me out, Will. All right. And you have every right to make the comments that you're making because you are not a Knicks fan. So you don't have to. You don't have to view our series, our playoffs with any any thread of optimism whatsoever because you're not a Knicks fan. But I need you to understand what you are saying and what it sounds like to every Knicks fan. And you can try to spin it so that it doesn't appear like that's what you're saying. But the truth of the matter is this is what you're saying. You're saying Jalen Brunson was great all season, and now it's the playoffs. And now you're gonna find out exactly what he's really made of because he's not a superstar. And I would be surprised if he gets to the Eastern Conference playoffs. And if he does get to the Eastern Conference playoffs, then I'll admit that he's a superstar. But I don't think he's going to get there because teams are going to collapse on him as if they haven't been doing that all season. Teams are going to change up their strategy on him as if they haven't been doing that all season. Teams are going to come at him differently as if they haven't been doing that all season. You're saying now that the playoffs have started, you're going to see a different approach to Jalen Brunson. Let me finish, Will. Let me finish. You're going to see a different approach of teams towards Jalen Brunson, and now you're going to see the truth. And what I'm saying about him not being a superstar is going to be proven. Is that what you're really saying in essence? If it is, then fine. I'm going to take that. You know why I'm going to take it? Because you ain't a Knicks fan, and you don't know what it is. But is that what you're saying?
Partially.
Okay. Fine, no problem. Then this is not even an argument. We absolutely have to wait until we get to the ECF so Will can come on the show and say, you know what? This dude is the truth, and can't nobody do nothing with him.
But let me ask you something, right? Now I agree with everything you said up to that point. Just partially that I hate the Knicks. I don't hate the Knicks.
I didn't say you hate them. I said
Let
you're
me
not
ask
a
you- let
Knicks
me
fan.
ask you a prime-
You are
let me
not
ask
a
you a
Knicks
prime
fan, and
question
so you're
about
not
Knicks.
obligated to think
Wait.
anything optimistic about them.
Wait, let me ask you a prime question about Knicks basketball, just period, right? The Knicks are like that new girlfriend. Every time they load up and make a good team, they're like that brand new girlfriend. She tight. She got everything you want. She got everything that you possibly know that in your mind, this is what I look for in a new chick. And we just talking semantics, right? And the minute you get and you start talking to that new chick, you realize at the end of the conversation, it wasn't what you thought it was. That's how the Knicks have been historically when it comes to certain teams and certain players on Knicks squads. They have gotten you to the highest of highs, and then they douse your dreams. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not saying is that they're not a good team. I'm not saying that. Because I actually enjoyed watching some of the Knicks games against certain squads. I've actually enjoyed it because, like I said, the Knicks are good for basketball and they are good for playoff basketball. I don't, bar none, you can disagree with me or not. And that's not me hating on the Knicks. But what I'm saying to you when it comes to one player taking a team to the pinnacle. If he is able to pull this off and get you to the third round, I did say yes. I will come on here and say he has
Now,
he has
let me
gotten
say
my he
something.
has gotten my respect.
Let
Not
me say
saying
something.
he's a respectable player, bro. I'm not saying that he's not. He's a great player. But for me, as superstar criteria means more. It needs more. It needs
So let
more.
me
Because
so let
for
me
me
say
in
this
this
to you.
league, he hasn't done anything.
So here's the difference. Here's the difference, and I like the analogy that you use. A new girlfriend, she's got the total package. Then she begins to have a conversation, and by the end of that conversation, you realize this is not the one. You know what happened? When you ran into that part of her conversation, you were then introduced to a portion of her upbringing. You were introduced to her background. Same thing with the Knicks. We saw everything that we saw with the Knicks, and then it went downhill because we were then introduced to poor management, poor GMs, poor front office. That's not the case this time around. That's not the case this time around. Front office, management, all of that stuff is
Hold
locked
on,
and solid
Dwayne.
now.
We did have that conversation in the last show you had, and I did say the Knicks have done a fabulous job with their drafting and their assembling of a team. I didn't take that away from them.
No, I
I
don't think
said
that you
Steve
did. I
Mills and
don't.
them
I'm not saying.
they did a
I'm not
fabulous
saying that
job.
you did. I'm not saying
Right,
that you did. I'm just pointing out the difference in your analogy. Okay?
right.
Because yes, historically, we have run into bad management, bad front office, which was a result or leaked over into the culture of our team. Now, this time around, the culture of the team is in the same frequency from the top to the bottom. From the top to the bottom. From the top to the bottom, Will.
But
From
for
the
me,
top to the
bro,
bottom. That new girlfriend, that new
it still has
girlfriend,
to articulate into playoff wins, man. That's what it's down to. Knicks ain't about look, if you're a New Yorker and you
Pelicans have cut
you
the
use
lead to,
14,
to 8 as they go to the fourth quarter.
yeah, yeah. If you about any type of New York sports, New Yorkers don't want to hear nothing about no regular season stuff, bro. Knicks fans don't want to hear we had the second best record in the East.
no.
We want to hear,
No.
yo, Madison Square Garden is the host of the NBA Finals. That's what New
New,
Yorkers want to hear.
New Yorkers are a
Come
difficult
on,
fan base
come
because New
on.
Yorkers are championship or bust people.
Exactly. So for me,
I
this is
readily
what I'm
admit
telling
that
you
as a
about
New
Jalen.
Yorker.
That's what I'm saying about Jalen. Jalen has to, for me, for this season, for y'all, for me to say this man is a superstar, he's got to go head up against Boston, win or lose. Whoever he is in the Eastern Conference Finals, win or lose. And I did say that, win or lose. Doesn't matter. If he gets them to Eastern Conference Finals, I put respect on that man.
He's getting them
No
to the
question
Eastern
about it.
Conference Finals, Will.
No question about it. I put respect
He's
on that
getting
man's name. If he gets them to
but
Eastern
he's
Conference
not
Finals,
but he's not gonna do it by himself, Will.
I'm
He's
not.
getting them to the East.
But
I
That
mean,
entire team.
we didn't equate that into the conversation. I said if
it's
he
a team
leads this
game.
team,
It's a
if
team
he
game.
leads this
He's not
team,
going to do it by himself, but he has the team around him. First of all, he's playing with three dudes who won a national championship with him, not once but twice. He's playing with three dudes. He's playing with one dude who already won an NBA championship. As a matter of fact, he's playing
Two.
with two dudes
he
that
wasn't
have
really a
won
part of that
NBA
team.
championships.
He sat on the bench, so
Doesn't
his
matter,
participation
No, no,
doesn't
no.
bro.
matter.
OG
Doesn't matter,
Ananobi,
Burbage.
OG Ananobi was big for Toronto during the regular season before
I'm
he got
not.
hurt.
I'm thinking he's talking about DiVincenzo. I'm about to say
The bench
DiVincenzo,
player.
They don't count.
DiVincenzo was starting in Milwaukee. What are you talking about?
But he did not play in those playoffs, and he did not play in the NBA Finals. So for me, he got a ring, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't count to me. Ananobi, different story. Ananobi played in the
So
finals against Golden State.
so what you're saying is that the preparation part of it don't count neither, because even though he didn't get in the game, they still had to run practice. He still had to become a part of the process to winning that championship in Milwaukee. Will
Nah, you built that out. I like the way you built that. I like the way you built that out, but it still doesn't matter to me. If you were not a player contributing on a championship in a championship series, that don't matter to me. You just got a ring. That's like Andre Rison in Green Bay winning a Super Bowl, and he told the media he threw his Super Bowl ring in the water. because he didn't contribute. He didn't contribute.
You don't like the Knicks.
I think that's foolish anyway, but that's another story.
I mean,
No,
right.
no.
But I'm
No.
just saying, I'm just using that to
He
say, like, if I'm not a contributor on the floor in a championship win, I don't feel I contributed. Yes, I'm hurt. All regular season, it's just like I said, regular season means absolutely nothing if I do nothing on the floor in the playoffs. Doesn't mean anything. I didn't contribute to a championship. I was there. My body was there, but physically and mentally, you're not gonna say, "Yo, did I really help win this championship?" You're like, "Nah." You're gonna be like, "Nah, let me run it back." But you can't run it back now because guess what? You're a rookie under contract. They trying to get rid of you. They're getting rid of cap room. They got other aspirations. They got things they want to do. This Knicks team has to, and I'm saying it because I actually like New York playoff basketball to watch. But they gotta show me something. They have to show me something this year because now there are higher expectations because of the seeding, because of their seeding.
I agree.
There's higher expectations. Last year, everybody was like, okay, they made it in. You know, nobody expected, like you said, nobody saw Jalen Brunson coming. Nobody saw that. Now what? Now that you didn't see him coming, he's here. As far as y'all telling me he's here.
He's here.
He got to show me something.
And he has shown so far this year that every time a team has game plan for him, he's figured it out. So I have full confidence that he will do the same thing in the postseason.
All I'm saying is Saturday is 0-0. Saturday is 0-0.
You're absolutely right. But
records are out the window.
I'm not even talking about records. I'm
not
even talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that because in a 61-point game against one of the great coaches in the NBA, Greg Popovich, he put up 61 against a guy that's probably going to end up being the defensive player of the year in Wembanyama. So quite honestly, and they started off strong against them. Again, San Antonio went up big early.
That game too.
No, but that's my point. Jalen Brunson figured it out and kept his team in that game because the Knicks were on the verge of getting blown out of San Antonio that night. They were on the verge of getting blown out of San Antonio that night.
I mean,
figured it out. So that's what I'm saying. He has shown me that he has the ability to figure it out. Yes, the schemes will be different in the playoffs, but he has shown me that he can figure it out. So I gotta trust that my point guard is gonna be able to figure it out the way he's done for 82 games.
I'm just a firm believer, Dwayne, that matchups matter, man. I'm old school basketball, and I feel like
matchups matter both ways. They matter both ways.
Let me tell you something.
And even with that, they try putting bigger players on him. Again, matchups matter. Bigger, more athletic.
Let me say this, and then I'm gonna go food shopping because I'm actually
we're out of here. So we're
let me say this.
We got 30 seconds left anyway.
Let me say this. Teams better not focus too much on Jalen. They better pay attention to Deuce McBride. They better pay attention to DiVincenzo. That's who they better pay attention to.
Pay attention to Bogdanovich.
They better pay attention to Bogdanovich, who is starting to heat up right now.
Because
they
not
better
for
pay
nothing,
attention to them.
He won that game for us on Sunday because he got us back in that game.
Did. And let me say this to you, Will. If Jalen Brunson is the player that I think he is, those other players are about to be better in the playoffs. And that's where it's dangerous.
I believe that he elevates the players around him as
that's
well.
Where it's dangerous. And that's why I said it's not going to be him. He's going to do his part. But I believe that if he's the player that I really think that Jalen Brunson is, and it took me a while to be convinced that he is that player, I believe he is that player. Everybody else around him on this team in this playoff run is going to elevate their game. And there ain't no team that can stop a team that has three shooters that can shoot. Bogdanovich, Deuce,
DiVincenzo.
And DiVincenzo. You don't have no answer for the defense that comes at you for
And
Anunoby.
and not for nothing, OG's offense doesn't get talked about enough.
It
But
doesn't get talked about.
him in the
Not only
corner,
that,
that corner three is lethal.
not only that, you have no answers for Josh Hart crashing the boards the way that he does. Not only with him crashing the boards, but you got your man Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson coming together. They crashing the boards. You got a lot of things to worry about when it comes to this Knicks team. So any coach, if they smart, they would not just be completely focused and zoned in on Jalen Brunson. If they are, then we don't need to get to the Eastern Conference Finals for him to be deemed a superstar. They already telling you that he's a superstar. If they smart, they would say, you better pay attention to this entire team. Because if he dish it out to that three-point line and DiVincenzo is hot, you ain't got nothing to do with him. And if DiVincenzo is not shooting well and he give it back to Hartenstein, or he give it back to Jalen, or he swing it over to Deuce, you can't do nothing to that team. That team is a very scary team. Very scary team. Now, you're not a Knicks fan. You don't want to see it. You'll see it Saturday. They have
Lakers
a
lead
whole.
by 8.
They gotta pick their poison. Any team
Lakers-
that plays the Knicks in this playoffs,
Lakers up by 11.
they have to pick their poison. They gotta pick their poison.
What I'm telling you is this. If the Knicks are going to be considered a threat, this Philadelphia series needs to be a cakewalk for them. And I'm going to tell you right now, on the other side of the Hudson in Philadelphia, there's a lot of dogs down there. There's a team full of dogs down there.
3 out of 4.
They
3 out of
dogs.
4.
They're dogs down there. Lowry's a dog.
Lowry,
Lowry's a
yes.
dog.
I'll give you Lowry.
Listen, Embiid's a dog. And Maxi's a dog. Maxi's a dog, yo. Listen, you don't believe that? Okay.
I don't. I'm not.
Listen.
I'm not so. Embiid. I'll give you Lowry. I think
Embiid
Maxey
is a
can-
dog, man.
I don't.
Embiid's a dog, man.
Embiid's not a dog.
No,
not a
Embiid's a dog, man. You know why?
Embiid's
I think only reason why you're saying he's not a dog is because the injury bug has prone him to not really be the dog.
That's actually not the reason at all. I've watched Embiid shrink in big moments against teams that are more physical with him. I watched him do it in that 38-point loss against the Knicks, where Hartenstein kept pushing him out further and further, and then Embiid didn't take a shot in the paint the entire fourth quarter. You're talking to somebody who played and watches the game.
He's a dog.
The game.
I can't.
That's
Well,
not
I
dog.
from
You don't
from
get
your-
beat by
from
38 on your
barometer,
home floor, and I'm gonna call you a dog when the game was still in the balance at halftime and you
like I
shrunk.
said,
That's
we
not
can
a
agree
dog.
to disagree. We can agree to disagree. I
It's
just
not a
think he's a
dog.
dog. I think he's a
I'm
dog.
going to finish food shopping.
Love y'all,
We
man.
get ready to get out of here. Lakers up by 11 as the fourth quarter tranches on. Looks like they're going to move on and be the 7th seed and play Denver in the first round. We're back on Saturday. Knick game is currently scheduled for 7:30 on Saturday, so we'll be on sometime after that Saturday night. Thank y'all, Willie, as always. Always a
We ain't
pleasure.
ducking no smoke.
That's late.
Hey,
that's
I'm here
that's
for it.
late. That's late at night on a Saturday.
Denver or the
People have
Knicks,
to-
we ain't ducking no smoke.
I gotta prepare to preach. So that'll be a short show, y'all.
It's gonna be an hour. The goal is to get these shows to an hour or less.
For sure.
I need everybody to
Or an
get
hour.
those banquet tickets, please. Will, I don't see your name on that banquet ticket list.
I'm on it.
I need get
Don't
those banquet
forget,
tickets.
$ Glory Tabernacle for those who the Glory Church. Sorry, Glory Church. $ Glory Church. If you are buying your banquet ticket via Cash App, we hope to see you there at the banquet of the 50th birthday celebration of one Bishop Robert Vincent Butler II. So we're looking forward to that. But Saturday night, playoffs begin in earnest. Some more good games tomorrow night, but we'll be back on Saturday. Y'all have a great night, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.